It was the kind of moment that doesn't just change science, it changes everything. When the announcement came, it didn't roar. It whispered, a quiet ripple in a press release, a handful of lines that most people would scroll past without a second glance. But to those paying attention, to those who had spent years imagining what might be possible just beyond the veil of known physics, it landed like a thunderclap. NASA, America's space agency, once bound by orbit and old fuel, had done the unthinkable. They had built something so advanced, so profoundly beyond the known boundaries of propulsion, that it could travel at the speed of light, not close to it, not some clever workaround. Real full light speed, the kind that turns galaxies from untouchable dreams into reachable destinations. And just like that, the rules of the universe began to shift. Behind closed doors, in test chambers the public would never see, a team of brilliant minds, engineers, physicists, dreamers, had dared to chase something long thought impossible. They had stepped into the void with only math and faith to guide them. And now their creation was real. A propulsion system that doesn't burn fuel or spit fire. Instead, it bends the universe itself. It manipulates space-time. The very fabric of reality is the engine. And space becomes the road. For most of us, these are words pulled from science fiction novels and old movies. Warp drives, zero-point energy, quantum containment. These ideas were dreams, not plans. But this isn't fiction anymore. This is science catching up to imagination. This is the moment humanity stops wondering if we'll ever reach the stars and starts deciding which ones to visit first. It didn't happen all at once. The project had lived for years in the shadows, hidden behind layers of classified documents and forgotten budget lines. But the results became too loud to ignore. Whispers turned into leaks. Leaks turned into speculation. And then finally, the truth broke through. A prototype, a craft no bigger than a family car, quietly launched in a vacuum chamber. No roar, no countdown, just a flash. A single blinding flash. And then, nothing. The sensors recording billions of frames per second caught it, barely. The vehicle didn't just accelerate, it vanished. Not destroyed, not exploded. Gone. It had crossed a threshold we'd only ever seen in equations, and for the briefest moment, it existed in a place no human machine had ever touched. A place at the edge of light. There's something beautiful and terrifying about watching a boundary fall. The speed of light wasn't just a number. It was a wall, a cosmic speed limit, a reminder that no matter how far we reach, some things are still beyond us. But now with this drive, this light drive, that wall has cracked, and on the other side is everything we've ever dreamed about. Distant stars, alien worlds, answers to questions that have haunted us since the dawn of time. But it's not just about speed, it's about hope. Because buried deep in this achievement is something older than science, something raw and simple and human, the need to explore, the need to know what's out there, the quiet burning desire to take one more step into the unknown, even when it terrifies us. That's what this engine represents, not just a machine, not just a revolution, but the physical embodiment of human curiosity made real in metal and light, and now the universe is listening. They called it the Light Drive, a name whispered first in the lab, then through the halls of government, and now everywhere. To most, it sounded poetic. To the people who built it, it was a symbol of triumph over 1,000 failures, over decades of doubt, over the weight of physics itself. But the truth is, this thing, the engine, the miracle, the spark that cracked the universe open, was anything but poetic. It was brutal. Demanding, relentless. It consumed time, minds, and sometimes even people. The kind of creation that takes everything you have and asks for more. They say the hardest part wasn't building the engine. It was believing it could work. For years, the math sat untouched, buried in fringe journals and dismissed by mainstream science. The Alcubierre metric, an idea once laughed out of every serious room, proposed that you didn't need to move faster than light. If you could make space itself move, compress it in front of you, stretch it behind, surf space-time like a wave. But how? That was the impossible part, until it wasn't. Somewhere deep inside NASA's Propulsion initiative, a different kind of team was assembled. Not just rocket scientists and engineers, but material alchemists, quantum theorists, architects of impossible things, and slowly, out of experiments that look like science fiction rituals, vacuum fluctuations, metamaterials, programmable energy fields, they pulled together a piece of something that shouldn't exist, a lattice, a living framework that could interact with the very nothingness of space. They found a way to make nothing move. And once they did, the questions started multiplying. How do you steer something that isn't really moving? How do you track your position when traditional physics no longer applies? How do you protect the fragile human body from the merciless stretching and folding of spacetime? The answer? You don't do it alone. At the heart of the light drive sits something almost as revolutionary as the engine itself, a navigational mind. Not a computer, not even an advanced program, an intelligence, an artificial awareness built to think in ways we can't, to calculate variables across infinite frames of reference, anticipate black holes hidden in darkness, detect anomalies not with sight but with intuition. It watches the cosmos not like a map but like a living organism. And as the drive moves, it thinks, it dreams. It keeps the ship not just on course but inside time. Because that was the next hurdle. Time. The thief. The trickster. The one thing you can't outrun, even at light speed. For decades, the scientists warned us. Reach the speed of light, and time becomes a stranger. Minutes become centuries. The faster you go, the slower you age. You could visit a distant star and return to find everyone you love turned to dust. But the light drive changes even that. By warping the space around the vessel, rather than accelerating the vessel itself, time inside the bubble holds steady. It's as if the ship and the people inside are held in place while the universe rushes past them. 4 years to Alpha Centauri, and when you land, you're still you. No lost decades, no missed lifetimes, just a smooth, silent passage through the stars. But even with all this, the most powerful change is not mechanical. It's emotional. Because with this technology, the question of if becomes when. When will we leave? When will we go beyond the moon Mars, the limits of our own imagination? When will a child born today look up and not see stars as symbols, but as destinations? The first test may have been hidden, but the second won't be. The next time that light drive hums to life, it won't be inside a sealed chamber. It will be beneath a sky filled with watchers. Eyes from every corner of Earth, held open in hope and terror, will see the moment we say goodbye to the impossible and hello to the infinite. Somewhere out there, beyond the thin blue veil of Earth's sky, is a silence so deep it humbles even the greatest minds. For centuries, we've stared into that silence, wondering if it would ever speak back. But maybe it was never the universe's job to answer. Maybe it was always ours to go and ask the questions face to face. Now, with the light drive, we finally can. The future of humanity doesn't have to live in fear of the void. Not anymore. For the first time in our history, we don't just have stories or telescopes. We have a key, a way out, a way forward, a way to turn our pale blue dot into just one chapter in a story so much bigger than ourselves. Because the truth is, this isn't just about stars and planets. It's about possibility, about finding out what kind of species we really are when the borders of Earth no longer hold us back. The implications stretch far beyond science or technology. They reach into the very fabric of who we are. What kind of explorers will we become? What philosophies will survive the crossing of light years? What parts of us, our courage, our compassion, our greed, our brilliance, will we carry into other worlds? And what will we leave behind? There's a moment that comes just before every great leap, a breath, a hesitation, a feeling deep in your gut that once you step forward, everything changes. That's where we are now, standing on the edge of forever, our hands trembling, our hearts racing, not because we're afraid of what's out there, but because we finally get to go see it for ourselves. But this journey isn't just NASA's. It's not owned by one nation or one agency. It belongs to all of us. Every child who's ever looked up at the stars and asked, "What's out there?" Every dreamer who scribbled rocket ships in notebooks or imagined alien skies before falling asleep. This breakthrough is a gift, a promise, a second chance at the stars, not just to look at them, but to be among them. And make no mistake, there will be risks. There will be consequences. The path ahead isn't safe or simple. It never is when you're the first. Mistakes will be made. Politics will try to claim the skies. Some will say we're playing God, that we should stay grounded, stay humble, stay home. But staying has never been our nature. We are wanderers, seekers. We crossed oceans, climbed mountains, split atoms, and now we've split space itself. So where do we go from here? Maybe the first journey takes us to Alpha Centauri. Maybe the next to an exoplanet with seas we've never imagined. Maybe we find life. Maybe we find solitude. Maybe we find nothing but the endless cold. But we will find something. And in doing so, we'll find more of ourselves. Because the universe isn't just a collection of stars. It's a mirror. And every mile we travel across it reflects the depth of our spirit, what we believe, what we value, what we're willing to fight for, dream for, and reach for, no matter how far. And when the light drive hums again, when that ship lifts off, not as a fantasy, but as a fact, it won't just carry humans across the stars. It will carry hope, a hope that whatever we find, we'll be ready, that whatever we become, will be worthy, that the same hands that once lit fires in caves now hold the power to light up the galaxy. This is not the end of the journey. It's the beginning of something beautiful, something infinite, something ours. So look up, because that sound you hear, that echo in the sky, that's not the silence of space anymore. It's the sound of humanity finally taking flight,